Right, so you want to start by removing the negative battery terminal. Like I'm using a 1/2 inch to loosen this up. All right.
Thirsty for an edge at the tables? Master Blackjack, count cards like a pro, and calculate poker odds, all in one app. Drink it all in with Table Edge, your ultimate casino strategy tool.
So this alternator, you're gonna have to remove it from the bottom. So next, remove this dust cover. There is a 13 mil right here, 13 mil, 13 mil, and 13 mil. So remove those 4 bolts. All right, so with the dust cover out of the way, now you should be able to see the alternator. It's right here. So next, we're gonna remove the belt. To loosen this up, you need to loosen up this. All right, so as you can see, it's a 12 millimeter. All right, so with that 12 millimeter loosened up, next you can just go ahead and turn this left all the way. You don't have to take the bolt all the way out, but those threads are what give it tension. So as long as you loosen this up enough, the belt should get free. All right, now that you got the threads loose, you could just grab this belt right here, pull it down, and it'll loosen up the alternator. So you should be able to remove the belt now. Bolt out of the way. Now we're gonna get to that top one, and that's actually a 12 millimeter, and you should be able to get it from down here with just a regular ratchet and 12 mil. You have to take out the 12 mil that's holding down the power wire going to the back of the alternator. You can fit your ratchet in here and get to it through the back. It's kind of a tight spot, but you should be able to get to it. All right, we got the nut loose with the ratchet. So now you should be able to remove the rest of that nut using your fingers. Kind of a tight spot. This is why you got to make sure your power is disconnected, because if you touch that metal and then touch another piece of metal, then you might shock yourself. So, all right, so next remove this 10 millimeter ground cable. Should be able to get a ratchet in there, connector behind it. So you could go through the driver's side wheel well right here. So you got this cover right here. So if you have one of these tools, you can pop these out and remove this dust cover so we can get to that connector. I turned the wheel on all the way to the left to get this thing turned so we can have enough room. Unless you want to take out the wheel, but I think just turning it is a lot easier. There's a big square on that connector. So you put your thumb there, you could squeeze it, and as you squeeze it, you should be able to take it out. All right, so it looks like there's one more hidden bolt holding this alternator down. I'm not sure if you could see it from here, but if you look at that bracket, follow it up, there's a 12 millimeter bolt right there. You could barely see it right there. But if you follow, I took out that front side, but the back side has another one. Instead of using one long bolt, they decided to put 2 separate bolts, one on the back side. But you could reach it from the wheel well, so remove that bolt as well. All right, got the bolt loose from the wheel well, and then from the bottom, you could reach your hand up here and then start loosening it by hand. Got our alternator loose, but there isn't quite enough room because this bracket's in the way. But there is one bolt that holds it down, a 12 millimeter right there. So remove that bolt, this bracket should come out, and then you should have enough room to get the alternator from down here. So we got the bracket out, and there's a really long bolt that holds it down. You can slide the bolt all the way out, and then the bracket will come out. So now with the bracket out of the way, should be able to get this alternator right out of here. Right this way, and there it is. We got it out. So now the fun part, reversing what you just did. But reversing it is always a lot easier than removing, because you already got everything loose. So the rest is pretty easy. I'll show you how to tighten down the belt, but let's get the new one slapped on. Get everything tight except for this right here, and then as you tighten this one down, it's going to pull that alternator back. And you want to do that until you can barely get a turn on each side. So I'll show you soon. But once you have it all mounted back like that, then get ready to tighten up the belt and finish up this job. All right, so as you can see, as you tighten this, that alternator keeps moving and tightening up this belt. So right now you want to just turn it, and as long as you get like a kind of a tight squeeze at about a 1/4 inch movement, then you know you're good. So right now we're good. And once you know you're good, I want to finish this out by tightening down this bolt and the top bolt on the alternator, and then you should pretty much be all done after you put this splash guard back on. So now with everything tightened down, just put the battery cable back on, power her up, and yeah, as long as you did everything right, followed these instructions, go ahead and start it. And as long as you don't hear it squeal, then that means you tightened the belt correctly. You also don't want to over tighten it because you might break it, but as long as it bends about the 1/4 inch up and down, you should be fine. All right, so moment of truth, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, thanks for sticking around, and this is Tony Torx. Please feel free to like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Have a good one.